Okay, so sleep. Is snoring natural or not?
No, no, it's not. It's not natural at all. And it neither is sleep apnea. It just so happens to be that so many people do it, we think it's normal. Just like
Yeah.
having crooked teeth is not natural, okay? We weren't intended to have crooked teeth. How many people have crooked teeth? About 90%, right? So there are some breeds of dogs that have been bred to have very flat faces. Guess what? They have the same breathing problems that we have. But any other animal in the wild, the vast majority of animals, they're not going to snore and they're not going to have sleep apnea. And according to the skeletal record, our ancestors very likely suffered from very little snoring and sleep apnea as well.
What causes snoring?
Snoring is caused by this soft tissue in the back of the throat vibrating, right? So it can happen as at the back of the nasopharynx as well, which is why some people breathe through their nose. They're like, "Hey, I'm still snoring," because it can happen back there. So that's from this flabby tissue. Sleep apnea is different. That's a blockage, usually your tongue. It can happen that way. It can also happen in other areas of the oropharynx, hypopharynx. But one of the leading reasons why so many of us suffer from snoring and sleep apnea, beyond weight, which plays a huge role in this, but one of the leading reasons why people who are average weight or underweight can suffer from these things is our mouths have shrunk. Over the last few hundred years, the human mouth has gotten so small that our teeth no longer fit. And that's the main reason why we're suffering from so many of these chronic respiratory issues. Weightlifters know all about sleep apnea and snoring because when you get too many muscles around your neck, but your throat is not developed properly to handle that inflow and exhaling of air, you can suffer from sleep apnea, which is one of the reasons why so many weightlifters can suffer from hypertension, is because they suffer from sleep problems.
It's fascinating to think that snoring isn't something that's natural. It's like a rite of passage almost. You know, it's such a cultural artifact that you have someone in a cartoon and they're asleep. The way that they show that they're asleep is the fact that they're snoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is how bad things have gotten. And once I started getting deeply into this field, so a lot of us know by now, sleep apnea is such bad news. Like
Have you
it
ever
is
had it?
causing.
I don't think I've got it. I think I'd know if I did.
I only had it when I was in the Stanford experiment and I plugged my nose. I instantly got sleep apnea, which is really
What's it feel
scary.
like?
It feels, well, you're unconscious, right? So you don't feel it happening. It's just you wake up and you feel like you haven't slept a wink. Your body's all messed. You're starving. You have anxiety. You can't think straight. It's really bad, and 20% of the population can tell you how bad it is because that's roughly the amount who suffers from it. But what people don't get is that snoring, and now the science is really coming out about this, can have so many of the same problems as sleep apnea. What happens when you're inhibiting airflow in and out of your body? You're stressing yourself out all night. You have to struggle to breathe for 8 hours out of the night. You're not getting that proper deep sleep. We know that. And all of that rest and restoration that is supposed to happen in sleep takes a huge hit. And I was just talking to Matthew Walker about this, and he's like, I totally agree. No one's talking about snoring. They think it's cute when you see an infant snoring. This is someone who's struggling to get energy, right? And it's going to completely wreck them later on in life.
All right. So what are the top tips for improving breathing during sleep?
Breathe through your nose. Easier said than done, right? Some people need surgery, okay? Some people can benefit from having these mouth guards. Those work as well. But becoming a nasal breather only has benefit. There are no side effects. Is it going to cure all your problems? Is it going to cure every single person snoring or sleep apnea? No. Is it going to help you across the board at some level? Yes. So why not do it? I use a little piece of sleep tape. I found that's beneficial. Other people have used other props. Whatever works. Putting the head of your bed up about 6 inches has been proven to be helpful for
Why is
some
that?
people. Because it helps gravity. When you're putting your head down flat, you're working against gravity. Your tongue is more apt to fall back in the back of your mouth. So putting a couple pillows up, and I'm a huge fan of this, and it's free. And again, there's no negative side effects. I just got some books and put the head of the bed up by 6 inches. It's called.
So they went under the mattress.
No. Under the bed stand. You don't want to feel books when you're sleeping.
Okay, true. All right, so the entire bed is now a little bit of a slant.
Incline Bed Therapy. Check it out. So the whole bed is at a slant. Now they sell Sleep Number things. You can spend $10,000
it's been commercialized. You just need some books.
Route. You need some books or some bricks or some wood or whatever the hell you have sitting around. So I found that's helpful for people who want to try to figure out their snoring using their natural body. Sleeping on your back can really exacerbate snoring and sleep apnea. You can tape a little ping pong ball or a sock to the back of a t-shirt so that you don't sleep on your back. They used to do this with people in the military because you get much better sleep when you're not snoring. So I can tell your listeners may be into doing this. And you can record what's working for you with an app. I like an app called Snorelab. No, they aren't paying me to say that. They have a free version of it. Otherwise, it's like $2. But this records your sleep throughout the night. And you can wear whatever sleep tracker you want and look at the quality of your sleep. And I've found that these things can make an incredible difference for some snoring and some sleep apnea. And again, they're basically free, and there's only benefits associated with them.
Do you know how many people are going to go to bed with a ping pong ball strapped to their back? Their missus or their partner or whatever is going to say, "Is that a? What have you got there?" Don't worry about it. This thing, Modern Wisdom was on earlier on. Don't worry about it.
Do you know how many people go to bed strapping a terrestrial scuba mask to their face?
No.
So they don't suffer from sleep. A CPAP machine.
Is that what it is? Is that how they manifest it onto their face?
Do you know how many tens of millions of people are sleeping with a mask that pumps air in and out of their bodies every night? Because if they didn't have this, their sleep would be a complete disaster and they die of hypertension. So a ping pong ball may seem, here we go with that. What's really weird? Who's the weirdo? Yeah. Ping pong ball may seem like a very stupid trick, right? It's no stupider than living with sleep apnea or snoring, which is causing a lot of health problems. So, and it's free. Wear a sock. If a sock, get a cute sock and put that on your back if that's going to help you. But these things, you don't have to do these things. You can wear a CPAP and CPAPs work, but here are a few tricks you can try that won't cost you anything.
I hadn't ever heard of the vertical bed incline thing before. That's a really, really good idea.
This is right up your alley. And now there's some real science coming out. Check out Incline Bed Therapy. And there's some guy who's been studying it for 20 years. He's pretty wacky, but
he sleeps vertically now. He's managed to work his tolerance to the point where he's at 90 degrees.
He's gotten so good. Yeah, now he sells straps and duct tape, and you can just tape yourself up every night, and there you go. Glad you brought that up. Another new market, everybody. Check Amazon soon.
Thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full, unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. It makes me very happy indeed. Peace.